Okay, let's dive right into this mesmerizing explainer where we're going to unpack a completely new architecture of hidden meaning in literature. Look, if you thought you already understood how poetry works, prepare to have your perspective entirely shifted. Today, we are exploring a genuinely groundbreaking system, one that literally turns poets into architects of emotion and precision.
Here is our roadmap for today. We'll be covering the Lethal City multiverse, Seconds the First Universe, expanding the extractions, going beyond simple acrostics, and finally, wrapping up with the architecture of meaning. Let's get into it.
Section 1. The Lethal City Multiverse.
So, the absolutely crucial starting point is understanding these exact definitions before we step inside. According to the source, a universe is one core rule generating many substyles. Building right on top of that, a multiverse is a universe that contains other universes as its substyles, right? This isn't just clever wordplay. It's a rigorously structured framework for embedding hidden messages using positional letter selection to completely recontextualize the surface text. And this literary revolution has a very precise timeline. Mark these dates. On April 4th, 2026, the multiverse was officially invented. And shortly after, on June 22nd, 2026, a formal statement was issued to clearly distinguish this complex system from simple ancient forms like acrostics.
Now, what's really interesting here, and we need to be emphatic about this, is the origin. Solid Seething, also known as Sago Stephen Kofi, explicitly invented all these systems. He did not discover them, they are deliberate creations. Furthermore, the system demands real rigor. Every single universe has to pass what's known as the steering wheel test for verifiable depth, and each one must contain at least 15 substyles.
Section 2. Seconds, the First Universe. We really must recognize the historical weight here. Seconds is the first poetic universe in the history of literature and poetic arts, period. It acts as the foundational core rule of this entire system, and it boasts a pretty impressive 35 distinct sub-styles. So how does it work? The core rule of seconds is beautifully simple. You take exactly the second letter of each word. Check out this line from the archive. Lost openly we knew illness by. If we extract the second letter of each of those words, O, P, E, N, L, Y, it reveals the hidden key, openly. But wait, it gets better, because this is not just some neat party trick. That hidden key completely recontextualizes the poem itself. Here's the verbatim meaning from the document. The answer is right in front of you, hidden in plain sight. You lost it openly, and you failed to recognize that the second word maps to the hidden key. Now look, it is literally a breathtaking surgical alteration of the text's meaning.
Section 3. Expanding the extractions.
You see, seconds was really just the beginning. The system expands rapidly because any poet can add a universe just by shifting the extraction position. For instance, universe 2 is called 30th. The example is come anew. If we pulled the third letters, M-E, the key is M-E. The verbatim message here explains, the bridge is the second letter, the destination is the third, come anew, on me. Then we shift to the fourth letter, entering universe 3, which is fourthian or quadranian. The example line, pray mate Onesimus, yields the hidden key, yes. And the verbatim meaning is so profound, pray, then run. And at the end of days, the deepest position confirms, yes, the deepest position literally confirms the emotional resonance. Okay, now look at universe 4, fifthian. We're taking the fifth letter now. The line, faith answers eyebrows, extracts the key, her. The verbatim message maps this out beautifully. Faith answers any eyebrow, any insecurity, and the fifth letter names the one asking, her. The structure itself identifies the subject. That's incredible. What happens when we reach the sixth letter? That's universe 5, hexian. From the example, crucible purifies anointings, we get bit, so the key is bit. The verbatim message says, run from the fire, or run with the purified. The bite is past, the bit directs, the fire cleanses. The extracted word literally directs the meaning. Moving right along to universe 6, heptanian. Taking the seventh letter from the line, arrests, debilitating, cannibalistic adulterations, gives us STAR, star. The verbatim message maps a literal path for us. Read the promises, arrest the corruption, follow the star. The extraction leads the way out of the surface text's corruption.
By the time we hit the 8th position, Universe 7, Octanian, the system cuts like a knife. Extracting from promises, camouflages, ambiguities yields SAT, SAT. The verbatim message here notes the stark contrast with earlier universes. The promises, camouflage. The second letter rams truth aside. The 8th sits and tests. It slices right through the camouflage.
At the 9th letter, Universe 8 or non-Jananian, we see this fascinating juxtaposition. The line, award-warming Sethan seeds, extracts to the key, me. The verbatim meaning reads, the trophies belong to the collective, we. But the 9th letter whispers, me. The individual, the one. Both own the prize. The surface is collective. The extraction is deeply personal.
And finally, the climax. We reach Universe 9, Decanian, the 10th letter extraction. The example awe-inspiring latalities gives us IS. The verbatim message perfectly grounds the entire identity of the latalities. Who are we? Latalities. WE. And the 10th letter grounds it. IS. Existence confirmed, identity sealed.
Section 4. Beyond simple acrostics.
Now that we've seen the actual mechanics, we have to address a common misconception. You might be wondering, isn't this just an acrostic? The answer is a definitive, absolute no. Acrostics are ancient, fixed, closed systems that operate on the first letter of a line, and they simply hide a word just for the sake of hiding it. The extraction multiverse is word-based, not line-based. Invented in 2026, it's an expandable, open system where the poet has positional choice. It is purpose-driven to reinforce or completely recontextualize the surface and the title, passing that verifiable steering wheel test we talked about earlier.
Section 5. The Architecture of Meaning.
The biggest takeaway for you here is that for the modern poet, this isn't just a trick, it's an entirely new instrument. You write a surface poem that stands on its own, sure, but then through positional selection, you implant a second, hidden message. There is no vague guesswork or subjective interpretation, it's verifiable depth. You're no longer just writing lines on a page, you become an architect of layered meaning.
We have to acknowledge Granddaddy Solid, Sago Stephen Kofi, for opening the door to this whole new realm of literary creation. It's an invitation to build, to hide with precision, and to reveal with absolute purpose. So the next time you read a poem, you have to ask yourself, are you only reading the surface, or are you brave enough to look for the hidden key? Welcome to Lethal City. Welcome to Poetic Cosmology. This is Poetic Cosmology, the science of originality, the architecture of emotion, the faith of precision, the surgery of belief.